All right, have and have not fans. Now, sit back and relax. This is probably going to be a lengthy video. In this video, this is my famous and probably one of the most requested videos of any given season. Jeremy, who do you think's going to die this season? Now, next week we know it's the season finale for season 6, the most emotional season ever. Show not tell. And there are currently motorcycles in the parking lot, so if you hear background noise and... Dude, why are you just sitting there? Get out of here. Golly. Just sitting there waiting. But in any case, I actually mapped out all the characters. I'm actually looking at it right now. It's pretty lousy. I probably will do a picture and post it on Instagram, but I kind of mapped out pretty much every character and where they are. Now, let me just say, for example, Benny, Hannah, and Candace are obviously at Hannah's house, so I think they're pretty exempt. Like, I don't think any of them will die. I think it's pretty obvious. The question is, well, Jeremy, look, I know you overthink and overanalyze and break things down, but I think it seems pretty clear that in terms of the deaths, it's either going to be at David's house and or Catherine's house. You're absolutely right, but for the sake of being as thorough as possible, I just want to kind of, go over all the possibilities, so bear with me. Now, the only time I believe in the trailer for next week we see anybody from Hannah's house standing outside is when Benny's standing out there talking with Mitch. And I don't know if Mitch is going to be talking with Benny before he sees his Uncle Vinny with the money, asking Benny if he has it. And then it's like, oh, don't even worry about it. I got $75,000 from the crier. So what I'm going to do, they owe a debt, but then $20,000, I told him it was like $25,000 extra to make sure we pay off your debt as well, so you're good. And then Mitch might ask Benny for that one favor because he said, like, hey, man, if we get out of this, you owe me a favor. I want to need a favor from you. Okay, so Mitch might be coming over to relay a favor, but I don't know what it is. Oh, dang it. I forgot to mention that in my trailer breakdown. Crap. But, hey, I'm mentioning it here because I think this video might get a lot of views. But I think that the Young family is pretty exempt for now. When it comes to Catherine's house, we know that Wyatt's going to have the gun, running around, firing it at people, because, the thing that has me is when Catherine is like, Wyatt, what have you done? I mean, it's one thing for her to see it's one thing for her to see Wyatt with the gun, but another to say, what have you done, as terms of past tense, what have you done, in a shocked matter, like, you shot someone. What have you done? The question is, who did she shoot? I think, guys, I think this motorcycle literally just parked near my window and now it's just leaving. So once again, I apologize if there's any background noise. But RK comes over to the house probably to give Wyatt the drugs, hence why he has the earrings. And he's like, what, can a black man have 10-carat earrings? No. I don't think he's like, no, they're 20 carat, and I know because I bought them. So Wyatt possibly gets the drugs. Jim puts 2 and 2 together, finds Wyatt, gets rid of the drugs before he can use them, and that's when he's telling Wyatt, it's like, you're going to die before us because of the way you're living. And then Wyatt smirks at him. So once again, forgot to mention that in the video, like, I talked about that scene, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together because Jim probably gets the drugs before Wyatt can use them. Yeah, then that makes sense why he's even more pissed and tries to kill Jim first. So it could be that he fires the gun, kills Jim, or shoots Jim. Let me just say shoots. I don't want to say kill, because kill in this show just means absolutely nothing unless the plot demands it. So the gun probably goes off and he shoots Wyatt. That's when Catherine runs out and says, Wyatt, what have you done? As I got a present for you, then chases her around the house with the gun. But we do know the cops are going to be showing up at Catherine's house. And before you ask, no, it's not David's house, because it looks like they're going down a long driveway with lights. And we know for a fact that Catherine's house has a long driveway. David's house is more of a circle. Like, you drive down the road and then it's like, oh, here's the entrance to David's house. It's like a roundabout, then you come back out. So with Catherine, we know that George and the cops are there to arrest him, but we know the cop has a gun as well. So why would they have a gun? Because they probably see Wyatt with a gun, so they probably end up shooting him. I don't know for sure, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, yeah, RK, I think he's free. Like, as soon as Jim intercepts him, RK is going to be walking around in the middle of the night like always. Broderick is safe because, remember, Catherine put him up in the condo that Wyatt used to have. Surprised she didn't just stay the night with him. I want to be completely honest here. So Broderick is exempt as well. So I think RK and Broderick are safe. Now, in terms of why, like I said, he might misfire. The gun might misfire and shoot himself, or he might get shot by one of the cops because the cop shoves George and then fires a gun. So somebody's getting shot there. And there's the other theory about who might get shot aside from Jim and Catherine. What if somebody else gets shot? And I went over the possibilities of, who else would be at the Cryer house at that hour? And I doubt it's Derek, because my mom was saying Derek. But remember, Catherine said, I'll call you as soon as I get home from, when she was with Broderick. And when she notices Wyatt with the gun, she's in her nightgown and everything. So I doubt she would have a guest over when she's dressed like that. So I'm pretty sure Derek is not going to be over there. Mitch Malone, I was thinking that, but I'm like, well, we see Mitch with his Uncle Vinny and the money. So maybe I pray that they don't do this, but I would just hate for it to be, off screen, I went to see Jim Cryer and I got all the money. Then I also saw Vinny and then I got the money. So we're good to go. So I thought Mitch might get shot, but given the fact that he has the money, I doubt he would go back to the Cryer house. I don't know how much money he has in front of his Uncle Vinny. I don't know if that's only Vinny money or that's only Jim money, but I'm going to assume it's $75,000, but I will wait until the episode to get a full explanation. So I would think that Mitch isn't going to be at Jim's house when Wyatt has the gun. Then we got George and the cops. I don't think George is going to get shot because it looks like that cop is clearly shoving him out of the way. I mean, the last thing the Cryers need is a dead DA on their property. The last thing the Cryers need is another dead DA on their property. So I'm guessing that the cop is firing the gun. But once again, why would he be firing a gun? Because there's a black person in front of him? No, I think it's because Wyatt has a gun. I don't see a reason for him to fire his gun unless, Catherine is running out of the house and then she's being followed by Wyatt with the shotgun and then the cop fires. I think Wyatt might get shot. I think he might get shot. I didn't say die, but he might get. Maybe I should change the title of this video, Who Will Get Shot in the Season Finale, because I don't think anybody of, I guess you could say, of main cast level of plot armor will get killed. And I guess you could say, finally, we're going to go over to the David's household. And, you know what, let me skip ahead to the hospital. We know Veronica's going to go to the hospital, which we can assume is obviously after the shootout at David's house because she crushes the cigarette, which is probably symbolism for the deed is done. So let me go check on my other handiwork by going to see Justin in the hospital. It would not surprise me if she goes to the hospital, encounters Madison. Little girl, where's the other little girl my son was messing around with? Justin, here's the room. Gives her the okay, I'm going to throw this out here now. Madison knows that, Veronica isn't keen on, well, I don't want to make this sound demeaning, but his kind, if you will. So what if he knows that she's up to no good? She gets the room number and then kind of follows Veronica to, I don't want to say protect Justin, but he's been through enough, and I'm not trying to take sides here because I still don't like Justin as a character, but he might actually try to defend Veronica for going too far because it looks like, Justin's kind of knocked out. Then, Veronica's like squeezing his face trying to get his attention. And then it's like, you're wicked, that? And it's like, once again, it's like she's just there to check her handiwork, if you will. So she might be there to taunt Justin just to let him know that Jeffrey's dead, to make his whole world crumble while he's literally broken. Because what that nurse said, broken bones, jaws messed up, and he was assaulted, and he's pretty broken right now. So yeah, she's going to go on an emotional level. And it's like when Veronica was working with Candace, telling, her about Erica, dump him, break his heart because that will crush him, because emotionally that could be worse than actually being physically beaten up. So Veronica, I don't think she's going to kill Justin physically. I think she's going to kill Justin emotionally. That's what I think at that moment. And then once again, Madison might be there to kind of check in to make sure things don't go too far. That would be pretty interesting. But in terms of actually dying, I don't think Justin and Madison will die. Now, Veronica, I don't think she's dying as well. So like I said before, her going to the hospital is pretty much symbolism that, oh, well, the job at David's house is done. I'm going to go to the hospital to finish things up in terms of killing Justin emotionally. Not Justin dying, but you know what I mean. Like she's going to crush him emotionally on the inside. Then we get to the most likely the beginning of the episode. David and Jeffrey fending off the thugs, and I have a lot to say about this, so just sit back on this one. Now, in my episode review, I kind of touched upon this, and then in my trailer breakdown for Show Not Tell, I really went in, so I probably don't, I don't even know if I'm going to go fully into this like I thought I would, but we know that there's a good number of thugs that Veronica sent into the house to pretty much cleanse it, pretty much kill everyone in there. And and my mom was telling me, like, there's going to be somebody in that house that shouldn't be in there. And I'm like, nah, Mom, I think in terms of who was going to be in the house, it should only be David. And I didn't know it was Jeffrey until I saw the preview, because I was thinking, well, it's late at night and Jeffrey went to the hospital but didn't see Justin, so we can assume he's back at the house because, well, he wouldn't go anywhere else because, you know, Justin wouldn't be at his apartment. So we know that David has at least one gun because we do see him with that gun in the preview from a couple months ago. I don't know if he's going to give Jeffrey a weapon as well, but we do know that there's going to be a point where Jeffrey and Justin are Jeffrey and David are on the stairs and they're being, you know, there are at least 3 guys firing at them. I would not be surprised if at least a few of these thugs got dropped, you know, like they're dead. But I don't think... Remember how mad I was at the Malone Warlock gang war that I predicted like 2 years in advance, and when it finally happened, it was completely one-sided because of plot. Like Warlock and his crew got massacred, and I think maybe 1 to 2 of the Malones got shot. I could be wrong about that, but either way, Warlock and his crew got mowed. That like Warlock got killed before he even drew his gun. Like he got up ready to take his gun out, and he got shot. I will be extremely disappointed if David and Jeffrey somehow survive and all the thugs get killed off. And it's like, how in the heck does that make any sense? Guys, yes, before the inevitable, well, Jeremy is a TV show. Look, there are enough people who are, believing it, like I said before, Veronica looks amazing in a black outfit and everything. It was great, but I feel like as many people who are praising Veronica's new look and everything and how badass it is, I feel like there's even more, I feel like there's the same amount, if not more people who are legitimately complaining about how unrealistic the writing is. Because in my episode review, I said, you know what, the explanation of her being a lifeguard and everything, I actually buy that. But once again, how many times has Veronica died? No. How many times has Veronica gotten killed but hasn't died? And like, I remember, like, but last Tuesday, between the time of A New Leaf and She's Going to Be Real Mad, I had a lot. Remember, I did like half a dozen, if not more, Veronica videos. I had a good amount of people literally telling me, like, look, I'm going to like quit watching the show and whatnot if Veronica lives, because this has gotten like flat out ridiculous. Stabbed, electrocuted, falling off balconies, and at the end of the day, she's still alive. That doesn't make any sense. So when Veronica survived, I've had a lot of people tell me like they're ready to just quit the show, and I can't blame them. But, you know, obviously I'm not going to quit myself, but it's just like Pokemon. Ash hasn't won a Pokemon League. Well, technically I don't really watch the show like I used to. I pretty much watch reruns or like the Sun and Moon anime. I might watch episodes of important events, and that's it. But I'm not watching it each week. But with the haves and the have-nots, I can definitely understand the anger. And here's my thing. This is supposed to be the most emotional season yet. There have been plenty of emotional moments, don't get me wrong. The cliffhangers have been amazing. And I even talked to my mom and a few other fans. I think we kind of agreed, like, the Harringtons were the stars this season. Like, yes, there were Charles and Candace things going on. Hannah kind of took a back seat. Remember, her highlight was Derek revealing the lion tattoo last season. But we haven't had any follow-up on that because it's only been, like, a day or two. And Derek hasn't been shown on screen. All we've had of him is him being mentioned to have called a bunch of times to Hannah not answering, him knocking at the door, him leaving flowers, him calling Catherine, but we haven't seen or heard him physically on the show. And he might show up at the house later that night, but I doubt it, because Benny was staggering from the couch to answer the door for Candace. So I don't think he's I don't think he's in any condition to fight Derek at this given moment. Not to say Derek would try to fight him given the circumstances, but at the same time, I don't know. And on top of that, I'm sorry. I'm really, guys, I'm sorry. I segued, going back to David and Jeffrey. Like, yeah, the realism of it. How in the world are they supposed to survive this? And this goes back to these mustache twirling villains. Is like, oh, here's an elaborate death trap for my enemy, and now they're tied up and whatnot. I'm just going to leave and not watch them die to make sure my trap works. So will Veronica just assume the job is done and just leaves the scene, or will she wait for the remaining thugs who live to walk out of the door and just tell, hey, the job is done? Because I'm going to be extremely pissed off if, let's say, at the end of the shootout everyone's on the floor, and then then Veronica just walks away and goes to the hospital, and then mid-episode, Dad, are you okay? Yeah, son, I can't believe we survived that. Oh my gosh. Trust and believe that will really affect the score of this episode. If these people survive under unrealistic circumstances, even worse, if the ending of the episode is Wyatt with the gun and we don't see anybody being shot, I'm going to be extremely pissed. And no, I didn't mention Charles in this because I'm going to be completely honest here. I would not be surprised if Charles is not in the episode at all, because I don't think he needs to be in this episode unless we get like a one-off of him leaving his house going, or I don't think he has a reason to, since him and Candace have broken it off, I don't see a reason for Charles. Oh yeah, that's right, because Oliver said, the next flight is to DC, because he made the suggestion, should I get a ticket for you to DC and then a ticket for her to Savannah? No, she's coming with us, so I don't think that Charles is going to be going to Savannah anytime soon. So yeah, I might do a video about his plot being over, but we know that's not true because Jeffrey Owens still needs to come into the show. But with that being said, I don't think this video was as long as I thought. I thought this video would be at least 30 to 40 minutes. It might be leaning towards 20-ish, but I think I did an effective job talking about all the characters. Isn't Mama Rose supposed to show up next week? I could be wrong about that, but we know Vinnie Malone's in the episode. I don't think any of the Malones will die. But guys, looking over these notes, I honestly don't think any of the main cast is going to die due to season 7 behind the scenes last September or October. But in terms of characters dying, I can see, the nameless thugs and possibly some cops being killed. I don't know for sure, but let me know. Oh yeah, also I don't think Kyle's going to be there. Remember, he was there with Jim in the last episode, so he's not going to be there. But I think I've went over all the characters. Who do you think is going to die? And like I said before, it's not really about who dies. It's about, is this just going to be like, I guess you could say, the equivalent of television clickbait, like movie trailers, like show you these amazing scenes, but when you see the movie is trash because they showed the best scenes in the trailer, or some of the scenes in the trailer didn't even make it to the final cut of the film. And in this case, it's like, who's going to die? This is emotional. This is a cliffhanger, but then there's no real consequence of the deaths. It's like, oh, well, these characters who are like background characters who showed up in like 2 episodes, they're all shot, but they're not the main cast, the ones we speculated might die. And like I said before, this has really been the Harrington saga, if you will, the season of the Harringtons, because the big things about this season, oh my God, is Jeffrey dead? Oh my gosh, did David drown Veronica? Oh my gosh, did Veronica kill her ex-husband and son? I mean, let's be real here. I don't give a crap about Wyatt and the gun. I don't, because they made the mistake of setting that up almost a dozen episodes ago. Last season, like, remember, he testified to the grand jury. The Harringtons and the Criers are in the living room trying to piece together their connections to see if they can find a way out of this. Wyatt nonchalantly is looking for a drink, goes down to the basement, finds the trunk full of guns, gets everything ready to go, moseys on back upstairs, sets the gun by the fireplace, then looks into the living room and creeps up the stairway, yet nobody notices him. Like, I was always thinking that Veronica might give him an icy glare or something and say something smart, but she doesn't at all. Because, like, I want to kill everyone in this house. He calls Jeffrey twice, I want to kill everyone in this house, both of our parents. I mean, both sets of our parents, but he doesn't do anything. And then my mom was like, why doesn't Jeffrey take the threat seriously? When it came to Amanda, he told Catherine about it. Well, one, This was like right after Jeffrey had moved out from staying with Amanda and Candace. He had the gun pointed directly at him. And in this case, he doesn't want to believe why, because he only calls when he's high. I will give Jeffrey credit for that, because I told my mom and she was like, well, why doesn't Jeffrey do anything about it? I'm like, well, Mom, you got to think of it from his perspective. Like anytime Wyatt calls is when he's high. And then the one time he did tell Jeffrey that I'm going to do it like my sister did. Wait, what? Like basically take his own life. And also he told Jeffrey, I think I killed a guy, but Jeffrey didn't believe him. And I think at that point he was talking about Vinnie Malone being left on the floor for dead, and he was telling the truth. But I do think that this finale, and once again, I'm very hesitant to call this the finale, because according to IMDb, No Rest for the Wicked was episode 10 of season 6, and that was going to be the finale. So I'm very unsure of how to go into this episode. Kind of like with If Loving You Is Wrong, they only gave us 8 episodes, and I'm like, well, they're calling it the season finale, so I guess I'll call it the same. But remember, we got all these trailers, we got the narrators, the cast members. I'll just go ahead and say Show Not Tell is the season finale. I mean, I don't know why Tyler Perry's giving us these bite-sized chunks, but I want to be honest here. I was happy we got like 30 plus episodes last year, but also a bit like because last year getting that many episodes really just showed us how long these storylines can be drawn out, which can be bad. So I do feel like, giving us these bite-sized chunks is pretty good. Not to mention, with all of his new stuff coming to BET later this fall, I think it's a good thing that we're getting, small amounts. And also the possibility of stretching out the show to 2021 as opposed to 2020. Well, no. It will automatically go into 2021 if we're getting season 9, not to mention season 8, which I didn't even know about. So with that being said, folks, who do you think is going to die in the season finale of the Haves and the Have-Nots next week? If you are new to the channel, I hope you take a moment to hit that subscribe button. Really helps out the channel, trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. On top of that, make sure you hit the like button and comment your thoughts below, because all the interaction on the video makes it easier to pop up in the search engine when people look up videos on YouTube and Google. And be sure to share the channel around. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. But make sure you go out there and tell other people about the channel as well, so we can go ahead and make this community even bigger. And with that being said, are you like me, where it's not necessarily about who's going to die, but just make it believable? Like, don't hype up character deaths if nobody's of merit is going to die. Not these nameless cops, not these nameless thugs. I don't care about them. I only care about, the main cast being in life and death scenarios. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and I will talk to you in the next video. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do a video about, strictly Wyatt's gun and strictly David and Jeffrey. Maybe later in the week. Let me see how well this video does, because maybe more clues will show up, maybe when talking with other fans, or I doubt the cast members will tell me anything. But thanks so much for tuning in once again, and I'll talk to you soon. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you just saw, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, or if you have anything you would like to add to the video, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you want to keep up with me on social media, go to the description box. All of my links for social media are right there. Also, if you feel like you would like to donate to the channel, make sure to click on the link to PayPal. Any amount helps. $1, $5, $20. As a full-time YouTuber, any support from my fans really does mean a lot to me. Finally, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you're kept up to date on any new content I post to the channel. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in the next video.